Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
It's been viewed more than 1 million times.
You guys, they can't touch you. Just go ahead and go in.
Video showing parents in Washtenaw County urging their kids to ignore their high school's mask mandate and enter the school.
Mob mentality rules. I mean, it's just unfortunate.
Good to have you with us tonight at 11. It happened at Manchester High School, about 20 miles southwest of Ann Arbor.
This came after a new county order, and as Jason Colthorpe reports, the viral video has drawn swift reaction from the district, police, and now the governor.
The first thing you need to understand about this district is masks were originally optional for students, but then Washtenaw County issued its emergency health order, which basically superseded the district, and all students were required to wear masks. But Tuesday morning, some parents and their students clearly were not ready to abide by the new rules.
You don't want to go in? You don't have to.
After confirming police will not stop them,
I'm not going to force anybody. I'm not putting masks on anybody. That's not my job.
Manchester High parents encourage their kids to ignore the staff at the door and go inside without masks.
You guys, they can't touch you. Just go ahead and go in.
Finally, the students are allowed in, and after some unintended irony,
Be kind and respectful.
they were taken to the library, apart from everyone else.
It's absolutely insane.
This Manchester parent believes in masking up, but thinks it should be everyone's choice. The insanity isn't the mob mentality, as he says in the video, but the hypocrisy of the health department.
They have no problem allowing 110,000 people in the big house to scream and yell and breathe all over each other, and that's no big deal, but you have 300 kids in a school and all of a sudden it's a big deal.
The governor telling me today she hadn't seen the video, but it would not sway her to order a mask mandate. Just this message to parents.
We ask that parents afford teachers and those who are on the front lines some grace and support masking up. It's the best thing for their students, and it's the best thing for our ability to recover from the academic disruption that COVID's created.
And 24 hours after this video, the superintendent says it was a much different scene.
After sending out communications last night, our students came in peacefully with masks on. Manchester has always been a place that's come together around things, and hopefully after some struggles that we can do that again, because that's been a hallmark of our community for a long time.
Jason, just curious, we heard the deputy in the beginning of the video. I'm assuming he was following policy there when he was saying, I'm not going to make you put on a mask. I'm not going to, do anything.
Yeah, he was, Kim, and we did get some further clarification from the Sheriff's Department about exactly what they do in these situations, and I want to read it to you. They said law enforcement is there to keep the peace, help keep people calm, to de-escalate situations, to explain and to advise. We're not there to cite people for a public health violation. It can become a legal enforceable action if things get out of hand, and some other enforceable action is needed, like an assault or destruction of property. But what has been working for us most of the time is explaining to community members and making sure they understand what the public health order is and what can happen. And that stance certainly paid off yesterday morning, and judging by the kids coming in and wearing their masks today, everything was good today, but we'll have to see, obviously, how it goes going forward.
Yeah,
Kim?
Indeed. We'll continue to follow it. Jason, thanks.
Meanwhile, the state's health department updates its quarantine guidance for students.
The state advises any student who tests positive to isolate and follow directions from their local health department. Students who have symptoms should be tested and isolate as directed. Vaccinated students who are exposed but don't have symptoms can stay in school by masking, watching for symptoms, and getting tested. Unvaccinated students without symptoms are more likely to need to quarantine. The full list of guidelines is on our website. Just go to clickondetroit.com.
One night after Flat Rock residents left a city council meeting upset with a lack of answers, a virtual town hall was held to address the massive gas bill that calls for 1,100 homes to be evacuated. Victor Williams live with more. Victor, unlike last night's meeting, Ford had a representative on hand to answer questions tonight.
That's correct, Evan, and he tried to answer as many questions as he could. But judging by some of the comments on the stream, you could tell that a lot of the people there were not too happy that they had to watch from a computer screen. For the second night in a row, Flat Rock residents were invited to a town hall meeting to discuss how the city is moving forward since a dangerous benzene chemical leak was discovered days ago. Wednesday night's meeting, however, was virtual, featuring panelists from multiple agencies, including the one believed to be responsible for the leak, Ford. One representative explains how the situation was bigger than they originally thought.
We saw the leak and we thought it was a smaller problem and it was contained. Then our indications were that the leak was larger than originally thought.
An expert from the EPA shows how sewer lines were affected because of the gasoline leak at the Flat Rock Ford assembly plant.
So that's where the water flows. And that's where we believe that the gasoline or the product would have flowed.
But there's still some confusion about what zones need to be evacuated. Previously, it was said that Zone 1 and 2 were mainly affected, but Wednesday night we heard something different.
The only place we're recommending evacuation is in Zone 1.
While the meeting took place with many technical difficulties happening, the video stream was bombarded with comments of unhappy residents who feel they've been let down. One woman wrote, "You think people want to hear sorry? You have turned people's lives upside down." While another one writes, "This isn't good enough for us. Virtual meetings is not enough." And Ford still says that they're going to be working to accommodate as many people as possible with any type of gift cards or hotel vouchers that may be available. But the bottom line is that there is not really going to be any end in sight anytime soon. Victor Williams, Local 4.
So right. All right, Victor.
The former CEO of a local charity pleads guilty after being charged with embezzling more than $200,000 meant for children. 56-year-old John Lynch of Grosse Pointe Park pleaded guilty to fraud. He was accused of using money meant for the Holy Cross organization on vacations and improvements to his home. Lynch will be sentenced in January.
James Craig is going to launch his campaign for governor next week. The Craig campaign is scheduled a kickoff event for Tuesday, 10 a.m. on Belle Isle. But then events are also scheduled in Flint and Grand Rapids later that day. You'll recall back in July, the former Detroit police chief appeared on Fox News telling Tucker Carlson he planned to run for governor as a Republican.
A debate over chickens and pigs taking center stage tonight in Sylvan Lake.
A new farm-to-table restaurant has been a big hit. It wants to keep animals at a barn on its 5-acre plot of land to help reduce food waste. As our Tim Pamplin shows us, not everyone was happy about welcoming the farm animals to the neighborhood.
They call themselves the prettiest little city in the state of Michigan. Sylvan Lake, population about 2,000. But tonight, well, they have a stinky little problem on their hands. Yeah, 5 pigs and a couple dozen chickens ruling the roost on the grounds of Sylvan Table. A swanky little restaurant just opened up to rave reviews, promoting the farm-to-table concept. But for some, the farm is a little too close to the table. And tonight it was a problem for the Sylvan Lake Zoning Board of Appeals, who shortly after opening the meeting took a field trip, headed over to Sylvan Table to see exactly what all the hubbub was about.
Well, when I read the ordinances, I misread them, and I apologize, and I feel sorry because I don't want to create any mistrust within this community.
That's Sylvan Table's farmer. She says they plan to feed food waste to the pigs and get eggs from the chickens, but many residents aren't buying it.
I mean, there's a lot of activity back there, and I already feel like my house is losing some of its value.
And the fact that they moved these animals in without permission wasn't missed on the board. Then they had their vote.
The request for permission is denied.
I learned more about pigs and chickens in the last month and a half.
City Manager John Martin says he's going to get with his ordnance officers, going to get these animals removed.
It's kind of sad that this happened the way that it did.
Now, I did try to speak to the restaurant owner and the farmer after the vote. They had no comment. Now, it could have been all resolved, the city manager tells me, if they had just walked across the road here to City Hall and got all their questions answered beforehand. That is the scene in Sylvan Lake tonight with a night cam. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
All right, Tim. Still ahead, a mother caught off guard at a local mall.
Yeah, what she was doing when she was targeted by a thief. Let's check in with Paul.
Last couple of little showers here along the I-69 corridor have finally, look at that, they have fizzled out. So we have a dry night ahead. It'll be a dry start tomorrow, but a few showers popping up. And tomorrow's also going to be the coldest day of the week. Wait till you see what's coming this weekend. We'll have that for you just ahead.
Her life isn't about that day.
Her sister killed by terrorists on 9/11. A young woman with dreams of a future that never will be.
What can I do every day How can I live my life?
How her family honors her memory, giving the next generation of young women the chance to chase their own dreams.